Hi everybody and welcome to session 6. This session is a little bit heavier than I wanted it to be, so I'm going to actually post an announcement early in the semester to urge you guys to actually work ahead just a wee bit. Hopefully, it's all doable in 1 week. I mean, you're in summer school and the pace is it's heavier, it's crazier, it's more than double in the summer, but still, hopefully you would have worked ahead and maybe done the Promethean flip chart in advance, or maybe done the unit plan mod, or at the very least on your final portfolio you could begin that process of reflections that you have to do. The reflections on the final portfolio are not super long, but for all those things you've done, for many of those things you've done in that wiki that you've posted, like your BYOT podcast, you post your artifact, which I grade, and then under that, for the final portfolio, there's another piece that I want you to have done for the final portfolio, which is reflect on those things. You could have done that as well. So I'm going to post that here June 12th, and hopefully you guys will know to have worked ahead just a little bit. Okay, so what is this module all about? Well, the unit plan modification builds on that reading that you did previously about understanding by design, and I want you to go locate a unit plan online or somewhere that you sort of critique using the understanding by design standards. And the design standards are cool because they're a good guide for critiquing existing plans, and they're also a good guide for designing things too, so you can use them at the beginning of the design process or at the end to look back at a design that exists. So you're going to use that to sort of critique, what do you think about this plan? It's always best if you're actually in the classroom, critiquing this thing, and you've got a real audience that you're really thinking about, and you have to teach them in 2 days, face them, and make sure this is a good, unit, or in some cases lesson. In school, in higher education, you're a little bit removed from the classroom sometimes, so do your best to pretend that you have to teach something, find something that you think is relevant to your situation. You're going to also think a little bit about assistive technologies you might use, and just technology integration in general. The plan does not have to use technology, but you're going to critique that piece of it too. You're going to think about ways that the technology use could be improved, and you're going to write about that. So that's unit plan modification. If you're a speech language pathology major, you could opt out of that unit plan modification assignment and do the telepractice discussion. And if you go to the telepractice discussion, you will find another alternative that I've put in there. But by this point in the semester, I think that other alternative may be too late. So I urge you to probably just do the telepractice discussion. All right, so check that out, SLP major. So of course, teacher majors, you need to do the unit plan modification. You can ignore the telepractice discussion that's going on. All right, Promethean flip chart is an assignment where you go into you get a login to Promethean Planet. I have one, by the way. I think it may be in the syllabus, but if it's not and you need it, let me know and I'll dig it up. I have a login. If you can't figure out how to log into Promethean Planet, you have to establish a login, but for a few people in the spring there was some issue, and I'll just share my group login if you like. And you can I want you to go in and find a couple flip charts that you could use in support of that unit plan that you located, okay? And you're just gonna you're gonna sort of critique it just lightly and then post that on your wiki page and submit that. The final portfolio and SWOT, excuse me, is basically you're going to take that wiki you've been working on all semester long, you're going to submit it one last time. It's the last time you ever have to do it, thank goodness. And you want to make sure you've, on the home page of the wiki, you've written a short little synopsis of your philosophy of technology integration into your teaching or your SLP practice. You want to go through all of the places where where it asks for reflections, like the BYOT podcast, the digital movie. I've asked you to do a short reflection on the value, the potential applicability of that assignment to your future practice. You want to have all your tech explorations done where you looked at 10 tools across the semester. Have that done, and you want to evaluate yourself lightly against the National Educational Technology Standards for Teachers. Those things, in my opinion, they're something that everybody sort of agrees that you should know about. I think they're good to be aware of. It's good to see the types of ways in which technology could potentially be used. But sometimes I think they're a little bit unrealistic. But like, I feel like I'm still trying to learn how to achieve many of those nets myself. It's not something that you're going to learn overnight. But anyway, I want you to look at them. I want you to read through them and answer yes or no. Do you think you're ready to enact this net as a teacher, this National Educational Technology Standard? If you prefer to go find the ASHA standards, sorry, I say ASHA, it's ASHA. I know that's how you pronounce that acronym. As SLPs, if you want to put those in, if you feel those are more appropriate, that would be fine. Okay, so that's one thing you do. You evaluate yourself against those nets, and then in those areas where you feel like you could do some work, if that net makes sense and it's something you think you could work on, sometimes those nets don't always make 100% sense. But anyway, if you understand what it's trying to say, you can carry that over into the next piece and the final piece of your final portfolio, which is your SWOT analysis. And that's where you think about yourself in relation to the use of technology in your practice. What are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? Strengths and weaknesses are things inherent and internal to you. Opportunities and threats are basically like strengths and weaknesses, but they're on the outside of you. So opportunities might be things like money, time. Threats might be lack of money, lack of time, a harsh environment where there's no internet connectivity, things like that. So so you can reflect on yourself using the SWOT format. You can do it in written text. You can do it in other formats, which you'll see in the instructions. If you prefer to podcast it, for example, you're welcome to do that and just post it up there. And then I want you to set a couple goals at the end of that SWOT, because it's important. And I know you know this, that it's probably educators value lifelong learning, and we kind of push it on each other that we should all be lifelong learners, and I believe that. I believe that you don't just come to college and get a degree and get educated. I think that the process of getting educated is just a lifelong thing you do till the day you die, honestly. So that's my perspective. You might not agree with that, but I want you to set a couple of goals, little reasonable baby step like goals for what could you do next. Okay, so you've taken this class, you've had a few technology related experiences, you've seen a few things, you've come across some ideas about possibly what we should be doing in the classroom, what you think you should be doing, or things that you think might be kind of cool or your students might enjoy. So given what you know how to do, given your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, what would be a reasonable goal, couple of goals that you could set? Don't say you're going to learn how to do everything in the world. Just set something small. You know, what's one little thing you could do between now and the next 6 months? And what's another little thing you could do between now and the following 6 months? So just set a couple goals. You may never realize them. I hope you do. But in all things, this is just the beginning. Just like in everything you're learning, in a sense, it's still just the beginning. And with technology, that's especially true. With the society we've all been born into, that it really feels true. It just feels like everything is changing so quickly. So you're going to have to update your learning in relation to technology use in the classroom. You're going to have to stay, you're going to have to stay hip, as long as you're in it. And I mean, that goes for many areas of professional life, not just education. But anyway, so that's the SWOT. Wrapping up in some other areas, there's a quiz over the National Educational Technology Standards for teachers. It's a 5-question quiz. You have multiple attempts. You just have the standards open, take the quiz while you have them right there, and you can read them as you go. There's another quiz. I call it a quiz because it grades as a quiz. It's the TK20 Information Acknowledgement. You don't have to put anything from this class into TK20 until the fall students do, but you guys are the last class that does not have to. So just go, if you want to, you're welcome to go watch my little video inside of that quiz and just take the quiz. Basically, you click I understand or I don't understand. If you have any assignments, a single assignment or discussion that you missed and you want to submit for full points, you can do so in the OOPS Dropbox. Please submit that OOPS if you don't need to use it and you want some extra credit. I will give you some extra credit. If you don't submit that OOPS, I'm not gonna give the extra credit. And the reason is because it's too hard. If you don't submit that Dropbox, I can't grade inside of it. Okay, and I'm not gonna go I'm not gonna go to it's too hard to go into the actual gradebook thing. Trust me, it's too hard. To try to figure out, okay, who didn't submit that, and then trying to find your name in the weird little boxes. You would understand if you were me. So please, if you want your OOPS credit for not using the OOPS, you get credit for not using it. You get a little bit extra credit. Submit that thing. All right, and just say, I don't need this. And you might have to, attach a Word document. I'm sorry, because that's the way the Dropboxes work. Finally, extra credit. If you simply indicate on the extra credit course survey acknowledgement, I believe that's a quiz too. Yeah, it's a quiz. All you have to do in there, I just want you to make sure that everybody knows how to do the end of course surveys. And speaking of which, please do your end of course surveys. Let me know how the class went. I know that you have so much to do right now, and most of the time, or much of the time, I have so much to do at the end of a semester that as a student, I often do not do the course evaluations, and I should. It's just that the timing is so bad. If they would just give us 5 extra days after the semester is ended, I think that the return rates would go way up. But please do submit that. Let me know what worked for you, what didn't. I pared down this semester. I removed some things in the hopes that it would be a better experience for you, so that you could focus more on fewer things. And my fear is that you just don't feel like you had enough to do. But all right, I hope you've had a great semester, and this will not be the last semester. This is June 12th that I'm making this video, so you will have more videos and more messages from me to come yet. You're not rid of me yet. All right,